It's showtime. Welcome to What's the Buzz. Hello, everybody. I'm your
Hello.
man, the Mad Dog DeCipio. Each and every week, I'm joined by this amazing face in the place. They call her the Pitbull. I don't know why. Why do they call you the Pitbull, Amelia?
Because I guess I don't know why do they.
And
I'm usually a
I'll tell
smiley
you
face.
why. Because she's fiercely competitive, this woman.
Yeah,
And she'll bite your face off if you try to come near me. And
exactly. There you go.
we
Yeah,
have a hell of a show tonight. One of the things that we love to do here is horror. We just, in case if you missed it a couple of weeks ago, we did an entire night with horror actors and directors. Well, tonight I had to give this man his own show. He's been here
exactly.
before. He is I could say he's a friend of mine. Can I say that you're my friend?
Absolutely, we're friends.
Wonderful. His name is Big Ed McKeever. They call him Big Ed because he's not a little guy like me. He is an actor, writer, director, a producer, a creator of horror projects, and a Jersey boy at that. One of my people, one of my comrades from New Jersey. Ed is also an incredibly talented and gifted film writer, a script writer, who has a new project right now. We're going to talk about it tonight. It is The Beast Comes at Midnight. And Ed, welcome back to the show.
Hello, thank you both for having me. Hello to everyone out there. It's a pleasure.
It's great to have you back. I have been seeing trailers pop up all over the place for The Beast Comes at Midnight. And it's not surprising. It's a great trailer because look, it comes from your warped mind. You have to be, and we established this in the last show. You have to be kind of twisted to be a horror writer. You have to be a little off center, or you have
100%.
to be from Jersey.
Being from Jersey definitely helps.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt to be a little twisted once in a while. How do ideas come to you?
Well, I'm one of these people that has a pen and paper on me at all times. And like I could sit there, I'll be driving down the road, I'll hear a song come on the radio, and a million crazy things will go through my head. When I'm laying in bed at night, I think about crazy things, mummies and monsters and demons and vampires. I can take the most innocuous situation and insert something wildly creative into it, and then it becomes its own universe. It's kind of what I enjoy. I'm like this little kid's brain running around in a 46-year-old man's body, and it's just it's utter upheaval and chaos at all times. Beautifully orchestrated for me here.
It's certainly it's certainly an orchestration for sure.
Yeah.
I've often wondered. One of the people we have is a dear friend of our show is Mark Sotkin. He's a television writer and producer of the Golden Girls, Laverne and Shirley, shows like that. An incredibly successful guy.
Yeah, I saw that gentleman on your lead-in, one of your screen grabs at the beginning.
Yeah, and Mark is an incredibly gifted guy. He's got this mind that goes to that other dimension. You're one of those guys too that your mind goes there.
I don't know if I'm ever actually here. I don't think I'm actually ever here. I think I'm always there. The physical presence is here with you right now, but the brain is doing about 6 other things while we talk right now.
And that's where I want to go. And do you have to be like a duplicitous personality to pull off what you do?
Yeah, I think when you write a character and you write people, I think the only way you can be true to it is you have to allow yourself to be that person. You have to allow yourself to be that victim. You have to allow yourself to be that killer. You have to allow yourself to be the person walking by in the background, the kid walking by with the balloon. You have to be that person too, so that you can properly frame them in your story. Because if there's no reason for them to be there, then why are you seeing it in your head?
You know what, Ed? You know my background. It's professional wrestling and sport.
Yes, sir.
Mixed martial arts and pro wrestling. And there's always been this kinship between pro wrestling and theater being television, film, and the stage. Um, how do how does the athlete, how do sports personalities, particularly guys that do MMA and wrestling and boxing, how do they translate so well into acting? What is it about sport that permeates into acting?
Well, I don't know if it's all sports. I've seen some football players do pro wrestling and also do movies with mixed results. But I've
Mhm.
noticed when you take a pro wrestler and insinuate them into some kind of narrative-based piece, they are really great. And the reason why is because all they're athletes and they're athletic,
Yeah,
they have a certain physicality. They also have the ability to entertain, and they're
yeah,
really big. And sometimes, and for the stuff I do, horror movies and action films,
yeah.
big is great.
Yeah, well, I think it might have been 100 Acres of Hell. Snitsky was in, Gene Snitsky.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. Gene
Was that the one?
Snitsky, the great Samu, Lance Anawahi,
Oh my God,
Asa
yeah, and
Anawahi
Awahi.
Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had other wrestlers that played mutants in the film. Just great guys, great
it's
physical presences.
remarkable. I got to
Um,
thinking about that today. So I want to ask him, and that's the only wrestling you're going to get out of me because we're done with that stuff.
okay.
Amelia,
Yes.
this is my friend Ed McKeever. He's all yours for the next hour.
For the next
Hi,
hour.
Amelia.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
It's
I
nice to
noticed.
meet you, and I'm fortunate to speak with you this evening. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Thank you.
well, you're very welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here as well. I was noticing that you did a lot of movies here in Florida, where I live at, and you recently were here just a few months, last month or so, I think it was, or last year in April, and you were not too far from me. I live in Wesley Chapel,
Oh, you're not far
Florida.
from me at all. I'm in the greater
No,
Tampa area. I live just
yeah,
outside of Tampa. Yeah.
yeah. So how was it filming here? Was it?
It was great. I got to tell you, when you share this video later, feel free to
Hmm.
tag the film commissions, Film Florida, Film Tampa Bay, Film in Florida,
Yeah,
Florida Film.
yeah.
They were
Add
great to work
tag.
with.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
they were really great to work with. They helped us find locations in Plant City. They helped us with
Hmm.
permits. They helped us reach out to different people in the industry that we needed for promotional purposes. And
Hmm.
I can't announce it yet. They're going to be instrumental in our first community screening, which is going to be
Hmm.
open to the public. That if anybody follows any of our social media, that's going to be announced within the next week. And since you live
Awesome.
so close, you should come out. You could be our guest. So make
Absolutely.
sure you have a prime seat. Come on out. You really enjoy yourself.
I would love that. Thank you so much. I would
You're welcome.
really appreciate that. And also, what was the most difficult person to work with so far that you've ever worked with
Boy, that's a
before?
loaded question.
Difficult to work with. I got to tell
Hmm.
you, here's the funny thing: the people that are the more named people that I've worked with, Eric
Hmm.
Roberts, Michael Pare, Gene
Hmm.
Snitsky, Samu Anawahi,
Hmm.
Lloyd Anawahi, who's Samu's brother, also makes a cameo appearance in this film. None
Hmm.
of them were difficult to work with. They were nothing but great to work with. The
Hmm.
people that are actually the most difficult to work with, believe it or not, are some of the individuals that come that are just extras or background
Hmm.
actors, and they have an air
Hmm.
about them that maybe they're a bigger talent or personality they are, and people don't know who they are.
Hmm.
Instead of sometimes being appreciative of the opportunity that they're given. And once again, this is a very, very small circumstance and a very, very small group
Hmm.
of people. They come there with an air of attitude. And on a set, you're
Hmm.
working, you're grabbing lights, you're grabbing fog machines, you're
Oh,
doing this, you're
absolutely.
doing that, you're hoisting things around, and it's
Hmm.
constant setup. And sometimes people aren't used to that high pace, and they think that when you come to a film, everything's catered and people are going to be doing my
Hmm.
nails and doing my makeup. That's
All
about
right.
2% of it. The other
Right.
99% when you're an actor is sitting around.
Yes. Well, if you
I'll
ever
tell you
need
what,
extras, I
they
know a
didn't
few
cater to me,
people.
man. I'm sorry, Amelia. Go ahead. I
I
jumped
said
all over you.
if you need extras, I know a few people that'll be extras in your movie here if you ever
All right.
come
Well,
back to Florida.
for anyone that's watching this right now, if you go to
Hmm.
Showtown American Pictures on
Hmm.
Facebook or Instagram, or even
Hmm.
our website, showtownamericanpictures.com, you can
Hmm.
join our mailing list. When we film The Beast Comes at Midnight, we're very transparent. And we
Hmm.
said anyone that wants to be involved can be involved. You can be as involved with our film company as you want to be because we're not this huge company. We're not expecting people to jump through hoops. If you're
Hmm.
available, we like to write these scenes where we have extras coming out. It's fun. I wouldn't say it's a party environment, but it's a very friendly, fun, safe, behind the scenes view of what it's like for filmmaking. And I encourage, a lot of people took us up on it. So high school students we had out there, we had a few families that came out. And the next film that we're doing, we're going to have this huge party sequence, a Halloween party. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for people to dress up like ghouls and goblins and mummies and monsters.
Love it.
So anyone that's interested in that, please come on out.
Oh,
And I got a
wonderful.
question for you. For the longest time, Hollywood corporate films were, the flavor of the day, and that's all you saw. Big budget pictures. Now, for some reason, I guess, post-pandemic world that we live in, the independent horror film is king of the cinema right now. We did a show here on What's the Buzz not 3 weeks ago. I had 4 of the hottest independent film directors, of horror in the country, and a couple of actors. Among these 4 people were almost 70 films.
Wow.
Among
Impressive.
these 4 directors. That's crazy.
It is.
But you can crank out a film in 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, a little more. I mean, you can crank out a film in one day. It all comes down to the quality that you're going to get.
Right.
There's certain work you have to do in pre-production and setting up a film, making sure you have your props and your actors and such. But you can make a film with a phone in your house. A monster can pop out, and you can make an engaging piece that you can edit yourself on a program on your home computer.
Well, now you're getting into the crux of the question, which is why, particularly the genre of horror, why is it so hot the last 2 years, 3 years? It's been like on fire to the point where there are horror conventions every weekend somewhere.
Yeah, I think traditionally your independent filmmakers gravitate towards horror because it's a more inexpensive way of getting into film. And also you have people that are from the community that are willing to volunteer their time to do it. You might not get this with a drama or a comedy or any one of these faith-based films. If people don't feel like they're going to have a good time while they're on set, they might not be willing to give their time freely to do it. Some reason you have the people that just love scary movies and will do anything that they can to work on the set of a scary movie.
Interesting. Amelia, have you ever had a desire to work in a horror movie?
Kind of, in a way, as long as there's no clowns, but I'll be fine.
Yeah. Ed, I have to throw Amelia under the bus for a minute. She's got this incredibly, I've never seen anything like it. She's got this phobia, this clown phobia. So bad. I mean, I tried to show a picture of a clown last week, and she almost walked off the show.
Wow. I'm so glad I didn't wear the shirt I was going to wear today. I was actually going to wear a shirt that had my friend's picture on it, who's a clown.
What is it about the whole notion of the characterization of a clown? They're supposed to be happy, friendly.
Well, I think there's a psychological thing to it. I think I've actually read this somewhere. I like to read a lot, especially when it has to do with phobias and fear and monsters and everything else.
Yeah.
I think it's because you don't see what's behind the clown's makeup. And that trips some people out because you can't take it at face value. I look at you and I can kind of size you up, especially being from New Jersey. We have a distinct ability for that.
Interesting. We have a thing here that we do now, Ed. We developed this since the last time you were here. We call it show and tell.
Yay, show and tell time.
Amelia's favorite portion of the show.
Yes.
It's called show and tell. This is, take a look at this. My favorite Ed McKeever photo. There it is, Matt Rads. There we go. Let's talk about these films here. Of course, 100 Acres of Hell is the film you're known for. That's the one that your signature film. Let's talk about some that lesser known films.
In
For
some cases,
Blood
maybe.
Lodge. I didn't know a lot about Blood Lodge.
I think the less people know about Blood Lodge, the maybe the better off we'll be.
Okay, so apparently something you want to forget about.
No, I'm happy to talk about it. It's all part of the journey. It was a film that we co-produced with a couple of other individuals. We had we made a movie called Terror at 10 Acres, and it was the first film that we worked on in 2010. And we filmed it at a local hotel in Atlantic City that was called Hotel 10 Acres. So a gentleman up in Vermont had a lodge called the 10 Acres Lodge. So he just cold reached out to us and said, listen, I've seen your movie. I heard about your movie. If you guys want to make another 10 Acres movie, I have a lodge called the 10 Acres Lodge. So immediately we thought, free film location, somebody who's going to give us rooms to stay in while we make a movie on a beautiful mountaintop in Vermont. So me and my writing partner at the time, Kevin Oros, just sat down and we started writing out a script. And we were like, should it be a slasher? Nah, everybody's doing slashers. And at the time, zombies were really hot. And we're like, oh, we could get locals to play zombies. Let's write a zombie film. And that's how Blood Lodge came about. It was a caravan, literally, of 30 people from New Jersey, jumped into various cars, drove up to Vermont. We had a script. We put a casting call on Craigslist that we needed locals, extras, and crew to come out. And we coupled together a group of people to make a 90-minute zombie movie.
And Bitter Souls. What's the story behind Bitter Souls?
Bitter Souls is the next film that we're going to be doing. That's a follow-up to The Beast Comes at Midnight. Not a direct sequel, but in the same universe, the same shared Gibsonton experience. Gibsonton is a carnival town down here in Florida, outside of Tampa, that's very famous for being where the bearded lady and the world's tallest man and the top giants and all these unique performers.
The sideshow characters, yeah.
Yes, they all retired. They have a huge museum there that was kind enough to let us film our movie there, called the Independent Showman's Museum. And we want to keep up that flavor, so we designed another movie, and we've already done a werewolf. So now we're going to have voodoo in Gibsonton.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we have a voodoo priest. And what I love about it, I always wanted to make a movie. I always had fun with like Jennifer's Body and Carrie. I always loved the idea of the young teenage girl who's tormented, who now comes back with all these extraordinary powers. And essentially that's what it is. You have a girl, there's a tragic accident. She may or may not have died. There's a voodoo ritual done by a grieving boyfriend, and she just comes back and beats the crap out of everyone. And it's going to be played by a great young actress by the name of Averiana Rose. And she's a gymnast, a YouTube sensation, actress and model. And she's darling to be around. She's a great actress. She actually tried out for The Beast Comes at Midnight, but the character she tried out for, she looked too similar to our lead, which kind of hurt her chances of getting the other female part.
Yeah. And my favorite among this group, Armageddon Ed's Ticket to Hell. First of all, I love the cover art. I love the cover art for Armageddon Ed. Where did this project? I'll be nice. Where did this project come from?
We wanted to do a found footage film because we knew we could do a found footage film cheap.
Okay.
So we came up with an idea. We didn't want it to be like every other one. Some kids go out to the woods, yada, yada, yada. We were like, what happens if these two guys won the lottery? And that was my cohorts, Kevin and Ryan. They win the lottery and they think they have millions of dollars, but they don't. They won like one of these lotteries where you get like a couple grand a month for life. So they decide to go on a road trip and just, drive around. They buy this old Cadillac. They supposedly have this hero of theirs named Armageddon Ed, who's a late night horror movie host. They invite him to come along. Well, when they go through the woods of South Jersey to document the Jersey Devil, they actually run afoul of like a backwoods cult. And it's pretty much just a found footage movie, these guys running from this cult. And what's fun about it is we incorporated a lot of things like we had friends that were clowns, and we incorporated the clowns into it. And because anybody could, we had friends that were in a pirate. There's actually groups of people that dress up like pirates, like cosplay, and they go to these Ren fairs and stuff. So we called them all. We had like 40 pirates on set. They're shooting the fake pirate guns and they're running around the woods. And we just made the last 20 minutes of the film anything we could get our hands on that was just really cool from a visual standpoint, production quality, and wrote it into the film.
And the film you're known for, of course, and we talked about this on the last episode, 100 Acres of Hell. Tell Amelia and those two or three people unfamiliar with 100 Acres of Hell where this project came from, how it was, because I think it's a fascinating story.
Yeah, that came from pro wrestler and WWE superstar Gene Snitsky. Him and my partner Jason Kerner were brainstorming, and they came up with, originally we were going to do a meat hook killer. We were going to do a guy out in the woods who killed people and hung them on meat hooks. But we actually had an interesting piece of property that came our way. And when we looked at it, it was this mountainous area, like an old coal mine. So our character took shape living in that environment. And then we were like, well, how cool would it be if this guy was mad because people trespassed on his land? And he'll wear an elk face and he'll be like huge. And since we had a Samu Enowahi, one of the Samoan dynasty, one of the WWE wrestlers, he was the third wild Samoan. He was one of the head shrinkers. Huge, like 6'6", 350, 360, just a hulking man. I'm a big guy. Sam is a real big man. Yeah. And we wrote the character for Sam, knowing how big he was, his physicality, and just strong, relentless. And the fight scene between him and Gene, we just wanted the payoff to be a really just unbelievable fight scene. That's really what the whole thing boils down to.
Amazing. And Amelia, have you seen this film?
I've seen parts of it. I was looking through the trailers of it.
Watch the whole movie. It's a barn burner. It's a good one.
I'm definitely gonna watch it now.
And if you don't have time to watch the movie, that one of those like famous YouTube channels where they cut the movie up into just the kill count or whatever it is, they actually cut the movie apart to all the kills. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody like that, but if it's going to get them to watch the movie, watch the kill count, and you're going to see
like watch the whole thing. I'm going to watch the whole
24
thing.
25 of the coolest kills, for a low budget independent horror film. It's pretty cool.
No, I'm definitely going to watch the whole thing. It sounds interesting.
It is. You'll like it. The latest film, the film that brings Ed McKeever back, is The Beast Comes at Midnight. An interesting concept. I love the trailer. We're going to show the trailer here shortly. Before we do that, though, I want to ask you about the project itself. How did you get Eric Roberts? Not too shabby, by the way. How did you get Michael Pare?
I got to tell you, my partner Todd Oifer, and I hope he's watching or he's going to watch this on the playback. He is an unbelievable producer. Me, I throw ideas out there and I'm like, man, it would be cool if we could get this actor. It'd be cool if we can get this actor. Todd has no concern about, all right, I'm going to jump on the phone. I'm going to call people. And Todd will call and call and call. He'll get on IMDb. He'll start bringing up numbers. He'll get in touch with managers. He'll get in touch with agents. And next thing you know, he brings these amazing things to fruition. We were able to get Michael Pare involved in the film. We were able to get Eric Roberts involved in the film. And just, it just really cool, really fun, and great guys to work with.
Well, I'll tell you what, the two guys, it's amazing. I love how you think, by the way. Because the two guys that, and Amelia will tell you, that I wanted on the show for the longest time, Michael Pare and Eric Roberts.
Yes.
I am a huge Eric Roberts mark. Have been ever since the first one. How can you not love he and Mickey Rourke together? Okay, please. It's amazing picture.
And I got to tell you, the stories that Eric tells when we were on set and we were hanging out with him, and the who's who of Hollywood and the people that he is involved with intimately and around all the time, and just their discussions and conversations, and and happenstance and ways that he ran into meeting them, and behind the scenes of all the pictures he's worked on. I mean, just amazing stuff. It's like listen to 100 years of Hollywood stories in a couple of hours. It's unbelievable.
You know what's funny though? He's working more now than he ever has.
Yes, I've noticed that.
He's doing more work now than he's ever done.
Yeah.
He's more in demand now than he's ever been.
Yeah, well, it was very interesting how we got Eric. Eric originally wasn't going to be cast as that character. It was going to be Robert Bronzi, the gentleman who looks like Charles Bronson. But he was from Hungary, and what happened was, due to COVID, we couldn't get him here in the United States. And we actually had some political influence of people that were trying to help us get him here, and we still couldn't get Bronzi here.
Wow.
So we actually had to talk with Bronzi, and hopefully we're going to get Bronzi for another film we're working on. And this led us to have to find another individual to play the part. And we came up with Eric Roberts, and he was great enough to do it after we sent him the script.
Incredible. And how did Michael Pare become involved in the project?
We actually wrote the character in the first draft of the script. It was a much different character. He actually played a different character, but the script itself changed as we weren't able to get Bronzi and people here, and we were getting nervous as we got closer to filming. So we limited the part, and we increased the character that Michael was going to play, and we kind of decreased another one of the characters. So we kind of had two different characters that kind of melded into one character. And I'm just saying it because I don't want to give too much of the film away.
Yeah,
there was a lot of changing because of everything that was going on just before filming.
Yeah, we're actually going to see a clip before we do. And Amelia, I'm sorry, but we do have to do this commercial. So just close your ears. We'll be back in 1 minute and 1 second after a word from our sponsor.
Awesome.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. I'm sorry, ladies, but they've been with me.
We have a lady present, so I won't comment, but I will say one thing. That's an A-class advertising you have there, sir.
Thank you, my friend. I put that together myself.
That's wonderful. I heard your voice. If I'm not mistaken, you did the voiceover, right?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Are you not just the voiceover guy, or are you also a client?
You have to answer that one honestly.
I actually am a client. I'm not just a voiceover guy. Yeah. I am a client. We're going to take a look now at the much anticipated trailer of The Beast Comes at Midnight, and I will tell you, it's a good one. In fact, I liked it so much I watched it like 4 times a day.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a look at the trailer, and then Ed, when we come back, let's talk a little bit. We won't give too much away, but let's take a look at this, folks.
Yeah.
Beast! I'm the last of the Andros bloodline! Come and claim your prize! Not today, Beast.
That kid's a weirdo.
Look out! What are you doing on the road, Death Note? You trying to get hit? Part of some weird ritual, huh, Dr. Strange?
So, you're the Crimson Kid. I'm Mary.
Yeah, I know.
Here. I didn't realize there was so much history in Gibtown.
Have you ever crossed the tracks into Gibtown?
No, but I've heard there's a bunch of cool stuff over there.
This is very real, Tom.
But Wolf Boy, I need some information.
Chasing the stars?
A werewolf.
That's what your new story is on?
The attacks are moving from outside of Fishhawk and into Gibtown.
He's becoming stronger.
People are here being eaten alive, Mary.
You're on the tooth fairy short of me a quarter.
The beast is tracking something. I thought it was me.
I can sense the beast is coming. There is death in the air.
I came out here to save Tough.
It's not tough. The beast is chasing Mary.
Please tell me that was your stomach, Mutt.
Not even on my best day. I know you guys think I'm strange, and maybe I am, but maybe it takes someone strange to fight something strange.
I'm with you.
Hey, dog breath! Let's finish this.
Do you think dogs think that we're pets? I don't know. Great question.
I love it.
I love that one.
I
That was
love it.
funny.
That trailer was amazing.
Thank you.
That was great. The two guys at the end, clearly they're stoners.
I said, them two are going to be the
and they
first
got
eaten.
a bad case of the munchies. Without giving away, because I'm sure there's a story behind that.
Mhm.
Who are those two guys? Because they're great.
They're funny.
That's
I love it.
Kyle Oifer and Dylan Intriago.
Mhm.
And they're two young actors. They did a great job. Dylan has been in some commercials for like Universal Horror Nights, and he did some stage plays like The Evil Dead, and just a really great actor. When he came to us and he auditioned, he absolutely knocked it out of the park. He actually wasn't, from a visual standpoint, we kind of wanted to be like a chubby, slovenly guy. And that's definitely not Dylan. Dylan's a little more in shape than that, and a little more leading feature look. But he just nailed it so much that we actually kind of changed the character a little to better fit him. And his comedic timing is great. So just so much fun.
I love that trailer. It reminded me of Dazed and Confused meets the werewolf, or the Wolfman.
Yeah.
It's like Dazed and Confused meets the Wolfman. It was funny, poignant, scary. It had every kind of element, which I like. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We wanted to answer the call to, when you're a horror fan and you want to watch a scary movie for the first time with your kids.
Yeah.
And you're like, what should I watch? Should it be The Lost Boys? Should it be Silver Bullet? Should it be The Goonies? Should it be, all these movies that are kind of like family friendly, somewhere between it's contemporary pop culture and horror. Yeah. And we're like, no, we want to do something that's a little more on the scary side, but that whole family's going to enjoy. And that's kind of how we came up with The Beast Comes at Midnight.
Let me ask you a question, Ed. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Are you familiar with a film called The Monster Club?
I've heard of The Monster Club. They came out in like the 80s?
Yes. It was a definite.
I remember there was Monster Squad, but I think there was a Monster Club that was a rip-off of Monster Squad, right?
Yeah, Monster Squad is very reminiscent of The Beast Comes at Midnight. Very reminiscent.
We hear that.
Yeah. Monster Club was kind of a Monster Squad, knockoff. But Monster Squad, I guess, because I was looking for something comparative that had that feel. And The Beast Comes at Midnight is reminiscent to me of that 80s genre film, and I love that. That's a compliment coming from me, because I don't really like the stuff being made today, but if it's got a little humor, a little retro, scare me a bit, make me laugh, and make me go, hey, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
If I
like
can eat
what's
my,
gonna happen next?
yeah, go
Well, I
ahead,
have to
Ed.
say the director, Christopher Jackson, actually sold me on the 80s angle or 90s film angle, that he wanted to go for that. There's a lot of homage in there. There's a lot of things that have that tone throughout the sequence of the film. And I'm really glad that they were able to impress upon me that maybe that was a better way to go than originally. And may I have seen it where it was going to be a much darker piece.
I'm glad that you guys went that route. I'll tell you what, because it really was, that was the clincher for me. It really was that kind of throwback to a better time in filmmaking. You know, you seem to be able, and maybe this is just the person that you are, but you seem to be able to gravitate toward projects and write projects that have that kind of everyman feel to it, and I enjoyed that. I don't like being left out of the movie. I feel like I was included.
Yes,
as
exactly.
a
From the
viewer.
beginning of it, it's like
Exactly, Amelia. Go ahead and pick up on that.
right, because it's like as soon as you start watching the movie, it's like we're right there with you watching the movie from the beginning to the end. Where you don't lose the audience. We're right
exactly
there.
right.
You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is what's gonna happen. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Look behind you. And
right.
the way Eric Roberts just turns around the whole circle, it's like he's watching. He's telling them, I'm watching you everywhere, so you can't. I'm gonna
That's
watch
a
it.
very good observation, Amelia.
You see that?
Add a couple of questions about that.
Yeah, it's like the way you had him go around like that. It's like he knew that no matter where he was going to watch him everywhere. Was that a part
Was
of that?
that a deliberate thing, Ed, to have Eric do that?
Yes, and we were trying to build up the anticipation of the audience. You don't know where the werewolf is. You're almost seeing it from the werewolf's point of view, stalking him in the way that werewolves do. Almost a little bit like Jaws. You see it from Jaws' point of view while the girl's swimming in the ocean.
Yeah,
kind of reminiscent of that.
Interesting. So go ahead, Amelia.
No, you go ahead. You had a question.
Stop you now. No, you're on a roll, kid. Go.
And then because he's like he was the last of the bloodline, and he knew that he had to be the one to kill him, so he was ready for him no matter what. So he said, "Come on, I'm right here waiting for you. Come on." So he was ready for him at any angle, and and with getting the kids involved, and that lady, she was telling him, yes, he's here, he's going to be ready for you, and that was a big part, I guess, because she could see and help them. I guess that was a good thing to have her, be a part of that.
Yeah, there's a definite cast of characters that help our kids all throughout this film. We have our main antagonist, who's kind of like the backwards outsider kid, that the rest are the more popular kids in town, and they all have to band together to take on the evil that may or may not be a werewolf in their town. Obviously, seeing the trailer, you can see there is a werewolf. But the town's not sure. The town thinks that it could be a wild animal, a pack of dogs, could be anything.
Yeah.
And that this one kid's like, no, it's a werewolf. We definitely have a werewolf here in town.
Like,
where did the story come from?
The story came from, we actually, when we first moved down here, which was about 3 years ago, we went to the Showman's Museum in Gibsonton, Florida. And we went there, and my son and I were walking around, and we're looking, and they had all this cool sideshow memorabilia and big colorful posters. And being from the Jersey Shore myself, anything that's bright yellow and red and shiny and has musical going to it, and it looks like it might be a ride, I'm drawn to like a moth to a flame. So my son and I were walking around. We saw a banner like 40 feet in the air that said Wolf Boy, Devil Boy, Devil's Child. And my son looked at me and goes, hey, I wonder what the Wolf Boy's up to today. And then when he said that, we're like, you know what? That's a question we should answer. And then we created the whole concept and the idea of the film itself.
Interesting. And the idea of the beast comes at midnight. Obviously, midnight, of course, is the witching hour, right? Everything, in a horror film has to happen at midnight, or really, really late at night,
or 3 o'clock in the morning.
I think it's also one of those keywords too. When you hear midnight, it adds validity to it. If you were like, the beast comes at 2:15.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, Amelia? You were saying something?
Like at 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes too, they call it at that time.
Yeah, the witching hour for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Always 3 a.m. Why is 3 a.m. a big thing in movies? What is it about 3 a.m.?
Yeah, that is a weird question. I don't know if it's because the moon sets a certain time, I guess.
Well, I thought we lost Ed for a second. It's like,
I know.
I've lost you.
Is it because
here I am.
Is it just because the moon sets a certain time or something? I have no idea.
I think
why
the
they
moon's
say it's
affecting our show tonight.
Is it a full moon coming up?
No, I hope not. Man, boy. So here's the thing. It's.
Uh-oh. There he is.
Yeah, I don't know. We're losing Ed. What's going on?
Can he hear us?
Yeah, I don't know I can hear. I can see Ed.
Yeah, I think he's trying to fix his
I know
camera.
his mic is on. Hey, Ed, are you all right with us? Oh, Ed.
I think he's froze. There he is.
Ed, are you
Can
there?
you hear us? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? No.
I can hear you, yes.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
Yes.
I'm trying to read your lips. I see you nodding, but I can't hear you.
Wow.
It's weird.
Amelia, can he see if he can hear you, Amelia?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I think he's froze again. Oh.
Oh, damn.
You might want to send him another link if possible.
Oh yeah. We lost Ed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I hope we get him back because he was right in the middle of a great story.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to try and get Ed back.
Yes.
In the meantime, Amelia,
tell
everybody what's coming up this week.
Well, let's see. We have tomorrow. We got a full week, don't we? Coming up. Yeah,
I had a show last night. I got a show tonight, and we have 2 more this week.
Yes, we do. We're going to be very busy this week.
Hollywood A-lister
Bruce Valanche, yes,
will be with us.
And then we have.
If you don't know the name, you certainly know his face. His face has graced your television and film for a long time, and he is an Emmy award-winning writer of the Academy Awards.
Yes.
And he's got a hell of a T-shirt collection. We're going to talk about that tomorrow night.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Also, on Thursday night of this week, a double header. We have the Ladies of Country Music, 2 incredible superstars.
Yes.
Lacey J. Dalton, a Hall of Famer, and Sylvia Hutton, also a quite an accomplished female vocalist of the year, I believe, for 1989, I believe.
86.
86. I was close.
Yes.
Oh, Ed, where did you go?
And I believe on the 20th, and I believe we have, is it Jeffrey Mark coming back?
Jeffrey Mark will be back. Yes, he will. And Jeffrey is a character, man. I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
Jeffrey Mark is.
We have fun on him when he's on the show.
Oh my God! Please, Jeffrey is just you can't help but love Jeffrey.
Yes.
You can't help but love him. He's
the stories he tells.
Yeah, he's a kook.
Yes.
You know.
We have fun when he's on the show.
He's a good kook. We love him here.
I think we've had a good show this month. We've had good shows this month.
Yeah, I mean, so far, yeah. Oh, here's Ed. There's Ed.
Hey,
I'm so sorry about that.
Oh.
We were talking, and then all of a sudden I could hear nothing. It was like Charlie Brown's teacher.
Oh my God!
Actually, it wasn't even like Charlie Brown's teacher. I couldn't hear anything.
Oh no!
So I apologize. I'm back. I'm sorry about that.
Good.
No, don't worry.
Telling everybody about what's coming up this week. We've got tomorrow night, Hollywood A-lister Bruce Vilanch will be here.
Very
You know
cool.
him?
Bruce Vilanch was popular for being on Hollywood Squares,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
he is also known as the guy who writes the Academy Awards.
Oh,
And the
wow.
Emmys too.
Yeah, that's true.
Cool.
Straight up. And two-time Emmy Award winner. And Thursday we have not one but two Country Music Hall of Famers, late C.J. Dalton and Sylvia Hutton will be here. So we've got some credibility as of the last 4 years was all credibility. It was working our way
nice.
to Ed McKeever level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Yes. Brother,
Yeah. He's like, who is that?
One day, you're gonna be a late bloomer in life, but you're gonna be up there on that stage, holding that little man in your hand, going, "I want to thank the little people that made this possible." You know.
Yeah.
Is
He's gonna have
I
that
am
little
the
one.
smallest. I'm the smallest of the little people, so I better get thanked first. Okay.
I'm gonna hold you like this. Up
Hey,
there. I'm gonna walk around the stage.
I'll come with you. I'll come with you. It's all good.
Right?
So we were talking about the. Go ahead, Amelia. We're talking about Beast Comes at Midnight.
Yes.
I know you were. Yes. We were talking about that, and where did we leave off? I forgot.
We were talking about kind of how it came about, how we put everything together, and then I forget, you asked another question, but I got so caught up in the not being able to hear you that
yes.
I forgot.
Yeah, I think we were right in the middle of that part of it, where everything came about, and then how you had other people, helping the kids in the movie, and then how it all wrapped around that, and then when Eric Roberts and everybody came together. It was
we were
one small
talking about
kid.
the deliberate behavior of Eric walking in that
Yeah, the turnaround scene, and because everybody
these
knew.
are questions that are probably more for the director. Maybe you'd want to have Christopher Jackson on. Sometimes he has a great visual eye.
Have him on.
Oh yeah, he could tell you. And him and his team, Darren Murphy and Scott Sullivan with Cineview Studios, who partnered with us on this project, partnering with Showtown, just did a phenomenal job.
I'll tell you what, I
capturing
loved
the
what I
images,
saw
doctoring
so
the
far.
script. I'm sorry?
I loved what I've seen so far. I really have.
Yeah. It was it's a team effort. I may have been the one who created it initially, but a team of people came around us. My partner, Todd, my partners, Vincent, my partner, Drew, all the guys from Cineview, my artist, Steve Gray. I mean, we had this family or group of people that came together, and countless other people, from costumers to MUA people to the actors themselves. That Madeline Chimento and Samantha O'Donnell, the two girls that are in that film, they're going to be really something.
Well,
You're going to
let's
see them
talk
so
about
many
that. Ed,
movies.
that's a great segue. You're the creator of this, and I'm wondering how much input you had in the casting. And did you and Chris Jackson look for certain types, or were you looking for a certain energy?
Well, it was very interesting, the process of this, because I had to raise funds to make this film. So what I did was, just as the producer and creator of the film, I started putting all the assets together. I started putting together groups on Facebook and ads on different actors groups, and started soliciting actors before our director Chris Jackson was even on the project. So when he came aboard, he actually kind of re-auditioned all the people that I'd already brought to the table. And for a director to do that, it's a very unique thing, because directors are usually very territorial on who they want to work with and who they want to pair to a certain part.
Yeah.
But I think we just nailed the casting so well that it kind of made it easy to do.
That's a hell of a vote of confidence for director Jackson to do that. I mean, either that or you got some major stroke. Well, you wrote the thing. Of course, you got major stroke.
Well, we did. We regretfully, we had our main name lead, who was Bronzy, fall off the project because of the whole COVID thing. And we had another actress that was actually going to play the lead of the film, who, because she was going to college and the way it worked out for the scheduling, it didn't work out to get her here to Florida. So we actually, Chris brought Madeline around because I believe, and I have to let him tell the story, I think his wife is an acting instructor. And it was actually a few of her students auditioned for the part. And Madeline and another girl both nailed it. And we had to make the decision between the two girls.
You have one hell of an energetic young cast. I mean, some of these kids look like they're still in high school, you know, and may very well be.
Yeah.
And if they're not, they sure look, man, they're young looking.
Very.
Yeah.
Very
the age ranges, they varied from the time we filmed the film, the youngest being Michael at 14 to Kyle being 21. Those 5 kids. Yeah.
I look at a film like this and I feel like the grandfather.
Me too. I hear you.
Because Eric Roberts is only 2 years older than me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's scary, baby. That's
well, you look great, brother. I think the Hawaiian shirt does it too. I like that.
See, told you. See, I told you that shirt looked good.
I'm telling you, I was torn between classic black today and a Hawaiian shirt or my clown shirt. So I'm glad I didn't wear the clown shirt, but I was about that close to wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yep.
Let me show people something. Take a look at it. Where is that photo? I have a photo here. There it is. Oh, hold on. There it is. This is the McKeever shot that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Ed looks eerily sinister, but like a happy psychopath.
You must have been talking to my wife. She says that all the time.
Was this picture accidental? Because I have a feeling it was an accident.
You know, I think I remember taking that picture. I think it was my birthday. I was like at my 43rd or 44th birthday. And I think I was just playing with my phone. I was like,
oh.
And just the way the light that was in the room just caused the picture to look like that. I liked it, so I made it a profile picture.
That's funny. I'll tell you what. Amelia, any parting questions for Ed McKeever?
Have you thought of other movies like for here in Florida? I think it was this one. I know how you like to go to museums, but I think it's called Howard the Doll or something like that. Not too far from where you guys were.
I forget the name of the doll, but it's down in the Keys somewhere.
Yeah.
You have to ask the doll's permission to take its picture, because if you don't, horrible things will happen.
That would be a good movie to make, probably.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm serious. I am serious, because it was on a Ozzy Osbourne episode with his son Jack. They were doing a road trip.
Really?
And he happened to buy one of the dolls.
We got to get that doll on the show.
And it was funny. And I remember, because Ozzy would not have anything to do with that doll on that episode. It was hilarious.
Oh,
but I think that would be a good movie probably to make.
Ed, when we sign off tonight, I want you to hang around for a minute. But before we go anywhere, we want to tell everybody to join us tomorrow night.
Yes.
Bruce Valanche will be here. He is center left Hollywood Square, right next to Whoopi Goldberg. Back in the day, Bruce is an accomplished writer, producer, actor, director, performance artist, and one hell of a T-shirt collector. We're going to talk about his T-shirt collection tomorrow night. Thursday night, Country Music Hall of Famer Lacey J. Dalton, an incredible talent in her own right, is bringing with her an amazing, one of the people that makes Amelia crazy. Her name is Sylvia Hutton. They just call her Sylvia, but she's an amazing protege. We're going to talk about her introduction, her foray into country music on Thursday night with Lacey J. Dalton. But tonight, Ed McKeever is our guest. Ed, we got a lot to cover, but we got so little time to do it.
Yeah.
Tell everybody your social media. We're definitely going to have you back. I want Chris Jackson back here, and I would like to have Eric and Michael. I would love to do a round table for, because I love this movie and I want to promote the hell out of it.
Thank you. Well, I know you're up north, but
New Jersey, yes.
Yeah, if you were closer, I'd love to invite you out. But we are actually going to be entering into a deal, And if I'm not mistaken, you're not far from the Vineland Drive-In, right?
I'm 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, there may be a good chance. We're
Sure.
working deals out with several drive-in theaters right now, actually a lot of drive-in theaters right now, for our film to co-headline with some other films this summer.
Wow.
So as that happens, if we should touch anywhere in your area, I'll let you know because I'd like to have you out. I think it'd be really cool.
Beautiful. Oh my God. Yes. Let me
Be a
know.
good interview.
Yeah. Well, I love doing location interviews. By the way, speaking of location interviews, Amelia is going to be accompanying I believe November. She's going to be accompanying Missy Hyatt for an in-person on-location interview. Missy is doing a reenactment, Civil War reenactment in November.
Yes.
I don't know all the details because they keep that stuff close to the vest. Those reenactors, I tell you what, they're more kayfabe than wrestlers for sure. They don't.
Missy Hyatt is a wrestler, though, correct? Missy Hyatt?
Yeah. Ballet wrestler.
It's funny, Ed, because we did our very last wrestling interview with Missy Hyatt.
Oh,
I figured if we're going to go out, we're going out in style.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So we're no longer doing wrestling. We're doing all arts and entertainment now.
But you do awesome stuff. You do the art, you do the entertainment. I know you were doing stuff with cryptids and monsters and UFOs.
Oh God, yes.
I'm telling you, I think we had the same. I think we had the same library collection because that's all my favorite stuff to read.
Yeah, Angelo, I got a request also. They want us to do crime stories.
I have to hook you up, and I want to talk to you after we're off the air because there's a guy I want to hook you up with.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Amelia, and she knows who I'm talking about. But tell everybody your social, all that fun stuff.
Sure. The easiest way to find us, all of our movies have their own social media component. But where you can get all the information on everything that we're doing, just look for Showtown American Pictures. Showtown American Pictures on Instagram or Facebook, or ShowtownAmericanPictures.com. You can sign up for our mailing list. We're going to make all the announcements of where we're going to be screening the film, when we're going to be screening the film. We're going to have a free open to the public event in Tampa coming up very soon. I can't announce it yet because we're still waiting to sign that. Just really amazing stuff. Very interactive for people to be involved. We're going to be at theaters all around the country, at drive-ins and everything else. Also offering other films from independent filmmakers on those same screens. So we're really going to do really cool stuff. Me and my partner, Todd Oifer, and our other partners are very engaged to just make great entertainment happen.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I am so stoked about this movie. I want to be one of the first people to see the full feature. I haven't seen it yet, just the trailer, but that was enough to suck me in, and that's what a good trailer should do. Absolutely. Amelia, tell everybody where they can reach you and how they can get a hold of you on social media, all that fun stuff.
Yes, we have the What's the Buzz podcast off of Instagram, or Amelia Valerio Chapman on Facebook, or aachap70@gmail.com. And that way you can let me know what kind of shows you want to see here on our podcast. And as a matter of fact, I did get a request off of actually where I work at. A lady recognized my voice. She says, I know that voice. And I did tell her. She goes, you're on a podcast. I said, yes, I do. She said she'd like to see crime stories, actually. Hear more about crime stories.
We actually have a real-life detective coming on. And we're doing an episode called Crime and Punishment with a real New Jersey police detective, still active too, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that show is being formulated now. We have to make sure that he doesn't violate any rules of the department. Otherwise, we'll have to get a retired detective.
Right.
As I said, he's still on duty. Still active.
Right.
And for myself, I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. I am the face and the voice behind this craziness. You can reach me at wrestlingwiththefuture@gmail.com and on Facebook at What's the Buzz. We have not one but two groups on Facebook, What's the Buzz. Of course, Wrestling with the Future is always there. You can find us on Vimeo, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Let's see, Stitchers, Spotify, Spreaker. I think it's called Spreaker. We're on 204 platforms internationally. We're on an incredible 3 television stations right now, all international. 2 in the UK, 1 in Canada, Skynet in Canada, BBC 2 and BBC 4 in England. Thank you, Robert Whitaker, for that. And we're trying to do what we can do to hit the masses. And luckily, knock wood, thank you, good. That I have to be careful. Somebody got offended that I said God on the program. You believe in that? I have to say thank goodness
crazy.
now. I can't say thank God.
It's a different world anymore. I don't quite recognize it sometimes.
Well, you know what? I don't care anymore. Thank God. Okay, there you go.
There you go.
So, yeah, because we actually have a show here, Ed, called "Having Coffee with the King." It's a spiritual-based program hosted by, you'll love this, by a guy that was known as America's TV Elvis. He is an actor, a songwriter, a singer-songwriter, and he was doing Elvis when Elvis was still alive. In fact, he did the voice of Elvis on Happy Days. He
Really?
was Elvis on Charles in Charge. Pete Wilcox is his name.
Okay.
Check
Very
that
cool.
out. Pete
I will.
Wilcox. He is one of our main guys here at the network. And we are a real network now. I can't believe it, but we're a real network.
Yay!
WWTF Radio. That's who we are. It's crazy, but yep, we're here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to
got
make
lucky.
sure to
Russell
share everything on our social medias as well. So we're going to help amplify your message.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, look,
you.
I got a big mouth. I want everybody to hear me. 4, Amelia Valerio Chapman. 4, Ed McKeever. I'm Angelo Mad Dog DeCipio. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.